Hello everybody, Disciple here with Overwatch Curios, and I'm back with a second video on the same day because we just got a very exciting announcement. As you can see, we are on a bit of a new map. That is right, for the first time since Overwatch has been announced, even since the beta, this is the very first assault map that they've added to the game. We launched the game with Full Sky Industries, with Temple of Anubis, and with Hanamura, and now we're finally getting the fourth one. We finally have the Lunar Colony, and it looks so goddamned cool. So this is the starting zone. It just patched onto the PTR and I logged in as quick as possible, so hopefully I'm gonna be the first one looking at this map, but of course competition is tough on YouTube. And look at these adorable little security feeds over here. So obviously none of this is going to be where you're actually playing. All of these are just the various exits from the spawn zone. But of course there are a few different angles you can take out of here in case you ever do get spawn camped. Since this is an assault map, your defense will have time to set up. And this is actually really interesting that you can just like drop down between the levels here. I think it's really cool that they chose to put the map on a you know, on a level such as this. It was kind of expected. We actually made a video about it in the past where we did predict that there would be a moon map. And I really love the structure of it so far because it really does kind of feel like you are on this lunar colony, because there are just a couple things on it that you just wouldn't necessarily see in the Earth structures, like of course just a giant hole dropping through to the ground, where when you have some sort of you know, lowered gravity, it definitely isn't too hard of a drop. Now it definitely doesn't seem like the gravity is any different when you're actually just running around and playing, but of course it's probably just for gameplay purposes. But overall, it does seem, it feels a bit like Numbani almost when you're assaulting the first point, with the way that the main street like goes ahead right through to the first point, but with, you know, a few other side streets and side buildings and some upper platforms for Widows to get up on, or, you know, Pharahs to hover up above. And man, this is all looking really cool. I really want to see what the Easter eggs are. I'm probably, you know, I'm not very good at finding them, but holy shit, I'm on the moon. What the, this is the cool. Okay, the, so we've determined that the gravity is not reduced in the building, but when you're outside, you actually jump and fall much slower. So get ready for some amazing Widow trick shots where you shoot up into the air and then you just take these nice long descended roads down. Unfortunately, there might not be people out here very often. This does kind of feel like the side of, you know, Lijiang Tower on the third point there. When you're on the control center, and then you go back in and gravity's back to normal. It actually feels a little weird to me going back in and out, but going out of the airlock is seriously the coolest thing that I've seen in an Overwatch map so far. It just feels, you know, it doesn't feel realistic because obviously the airlock's still open. And, you know, I've never been on the moon, so I can't confirm what exactly it feels like, but this is honestly a really cool experience, and this map looks awesome. I mean, you can look out over all the moon. I expect I'm gonna die if I cut out here. You actually get quite a ways to fall, and it's really fun how slow it is. So, you know, if you were, say, a Winston and you were falling down a little bit slowly, then you could maybe jump back up, since of course you do have that decreased gravity. Now this is Winston's home map, so I'm gonna hop onto him for a little bit and take you guys through the tour. So we're seeing some of the ways you can attack this point. Of course, if there is you know, a heavy defense set up there, then you do have those airlocks when you are approaching the first point. So we're going to go ahead and progress through just a little bit farther. We're going to get a good idea of what the entire map feels like. So it does seem like this is going to be our first point to capture. We saw this in the intro video, and this is, you know, kind of a workout gym where you can expect these monkeys to be training. Now, if you guys didn't see, I would recommend you watch the video. It's just 2 minutes. It's really short that Play Overwatch put out, but it is basically the premise behind the map. So it's Winston talking about how he grew up on this lunar colony, and, you know, he grew up with Dr. Winston, who he loved and admired, but there were actually other animals. It doesn't actually specify if they're animals, if they're humans. They could be monkeys, they could be something else. they actually didn't like being experimented on. And so at one point they rebelled and they went ahead and killed all the other, you know, doctors, scientists, astronauts, essentially all the humans that were here. And Winston was the only one left. And so Winston escaped to go back to Earth. But he was like, I knew I'd have to return one day. And here he is. He's back. So here's where they grow the dank kush. They got to keep that flowing if you want to survive up in space. We can see some, you know, premium bumble. I don't know. I don't know what weed words. Vape Nation, y'all. Man, it does really feel. I feel like that. Like I was just kind of you know, making some early jokes, but man, people are gonna make so many cracks about weed farms in here. Oh God, oh they set themselves up for this one. It is interesting though, because you get to see kind of life on, you know, what a lunar base would be like. You have the exercise room, you have your nice grow fields. You have your bay where you cannot get out onto the moon from here. It looked like it was just those holes. And I'm assuming this is point B. Because I'm waiting for players, I won't light them up. But this is point B. That's going to be the defender spawn. And remember that on an assault map, the defender spawn is always in the same place. So they start at their final spawn, just like you do on Hanamura, on Volskaya, and on Temple of Anubis. And so they will have to start all the way back here, and they will have to run through here, through the hydroponics, or let's see what the other routes look like to get there. Ooh, so we are going to have to breathe it in. So it looks like this is actually a very important room to go through, which makes me all the more excited. And yeah, so you'll have to fight your way through the weed farm, and then let's take a look at all these corridors. It definitely does have, it does feel a lot like the control center on Lijiang Tower, since that really did, you know, kind of have the space center feel. I don't. What's the purpose of that? I think it's to launch ships. So I mean, it's essentially modeled after this. But this is actually a space station, and it is looking pretty damn sick. Now I'm just really excited about the fact that we do have a new assault map coming to Overwatch, since of course we haven't had one. And although they've been complained about a lot by the community, both in ranked play and in competitive play, it's I feel like they've done a very, very good job progressing in the balancing. I won't say they're balanced yet, but I definitely enjoy playing them a lot more now that you can get the individual tick to not even tie it up, but to beat someone even if you don't capture the whole point. Because honestly, the big issue with these assault maps is stalling out on the points and being able to defend them a little bit too easily or for a little bit too long. Usually the first point gets taken pretty quickly, and then the second point is almost impossible, especially since the defender spawn is so close. Now, I don't think that's something that's really fixed here. If we go ahead and take a look, it looks like the defender spawn is just as close as pretty much any other map, just like Hanamura. And, you know, that's kind of a map that's a textbook example of your defenders getting back to the point a little bit early. They do have a little bit of a distance. I'd say maybe it's slightly closer to what it feels like on Route 66 when you get to the end there, or maybe even Temple of Anubis, how you have to run about a bit. And the attackers, once they do come all the way forward, they do get to push in from multiple angles, or at least from a secondary angle. They just kind of all have to funnel in pretty close to the same way. So if you're defending, you might even play as far forward as here, since everyone has to come through here, as opposed to standing back where it branches off into multiple areas of attack. But of course, that's all more we're going to see once we actually get people playing on it. And when we see people, you know, really playing around with 6 versus 6 on these maps. This is the one room that it seems like everyone has to funnel into, though. So if I were on defense, I would definitely want to fight in here, especially since if you die, then just the time it'll take your attackers to run onto the point gives you plenty of time to respawn and get back there and contest, as opposed to fighting and dying on the spawn itself. Not only do you have to defend against multiple attackers from multiple vantage points, but you also give them a little bit more room to capture the point. And if you all die, you give them a chance to take all 3 ticks before you respawn, as opposed to setting up offensively here. Now, I'm really excited about the map. I want to know how you guys feel about it. Do you feel excited about this? Do you think it should have been in another place? Do you think it should have been another mode? Would you have liked to see an escort, you know, where you get to escort a rover around, or maybe another control map? I feel like a control map might have felt a little bit too similar to Lijiang, and we've also just gotten a lot of them recently, so I'm not necessarily sad, since of course we have gotten Oasis since release, and all of the control maps were released in beta. The game did not launch with any of them, so they all feel a little new to me. Anyway, this map seems super cool. Next, I'm going to go try and play some games in it and get a feel for what exactly it's like. And so hopefully you guys will see some of that content next. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and peace out.